Welcome to the Thousand Tales podcast. I'm Connor Logan, and this is an exploration of the people of our town. We can't all be famous, but we've all led extraordinary lives. Today's tale is about Costa Yiannakakis of Newbury Park. Thank you for listening. I'm glad to have you. Thank you for being first on the Thousand Tales podcast. That's great.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, should I suit up?
Yeah, I'd say put your headphones on, and it's good to sound good to you. I've been trying to...
You're very, very clear.
Great. And
had a hearing aid test today. So if you start playing...
Tell me about your hearing. I've got my own adventures with my left ear my whole life.
Well,
jeez.
I grew up in oil plants and power plants my whole life, and rock and roll concerts, so...
Yeah.
Nothing that would aid my hearing.
Do you remember at a point where your hearing started to get bad, or was there an event that affected it? Massively.
That's an excellent question. I would say when I came to the States, because I think I mentioned to you I lived overseas and I worked overseas. For
Saudi Arabia, right?
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And when I came to the States and I got this job in Ventura, of all places. I either could work in Houston, Texas, or Ventura, California. And everybody's telling me, you got to go to Ventura, California. That's where it's at.
Right.
It's surfing, girls, all this good stuff. I was single at the time. And I ended up getting this job that I thought was going to be in engineering, go to the plant, make it happen, solve problems. It was a sales job. I had to go sit.
So you went in thinking being nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I have to deal with people.
Go win some clients.
Just machines,
Yeah.
And now I got to go sit in front of. So, Mr. Connor, you really should hire us to,
Right.
It was horrible. But,
being forced to learn golf.
And that happened. And, but I couldn't hear people. I would have to lean in to their desks, because they were busy thinking about something else or messing with paper.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or the loud plant behind them or something, And they realized, what? This is a real problem. Anyway, it went more downhill from there because I didn't give up on that type of work.
That's been a problem. I'm sure you probably noticed this. I noticed this. I'm legally deaf in my left ear, so okay. I don't have any resonant hearing. I had a bunch of ear infections when I was a kid. Most people are like, "Oh, it's from the rock music." Not at all. I've actually been very vigilant about my ear protection.
Okay.
And but yeah, I had a number of ear infections when I was a kid, and the 3 bones of the middle ear were eaten away by an infection, and so was my eardrum.
Serious.
And I've had about a half dozen ear surgeries. I actually have another one coming up in the next month or so. Every few years or every 10 years.
That even makes it more powerful that you can play drums and music the way that you do.
At least I have my conductive hearing. I can still feel the beat, right? And my right ear is great. So, but one thing I've noticed during the last 6 months is how much I've leaned on being able to see people's mouths in order to understand what they're saying, right? I'm sure you've come across that a bunch, right?
It's not just us deaf guys. It's the other people too. You're looking at somebody and, a young kid, an 18, 19-year-old kid, what did you just say?
Right, yeah.
Oh, sure. I guess I do anyways as an older person, mumble, and so now you got this thing in front of you and people were probably just like you, they needed to see those mouth move, and they're not, so.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's hard.
I think we're learning a lot about kind of the nuance of communication in the last 6 months.
I was going to say the basics of communication.
Yeah, and the body language inherent in understanding people.
Isn't it funny how a smile seems to take care of most situations?
Right. Yeah.
You get into a thing and this could go very bad. This could get very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Hey, how you doing?
I can still see the muscle motions of people's sides of their faces around their mask and tell that they're doing a hello smile, right? Yeah. Tell me how to pronounce your last name properly.
Okay. I'm gonna do the the documentary way of doing it. So it's translates as Little John.
Little John. Okay.
Little John. Yanni is John.
Yanni.
Kaikis is a Greek colloquial way of saying little guy, Little John.
Got it.
So
it's like Ushka in Russian or something like that.
Okay, I didn't know about that one. But so Yiannakakis.
Yiannakakis.
Yeah.
That's not as hard as it looks.
The English have kind of Yiannakakis. The English have kind of, flattened it out a little bit. They don't do the but English. You English,
Yeah,
you English.
And Costa's your proper first name?
Constantine.
Got it.
Right.
All right.
So the way that probably like most cultures,
the
Greek way is that you take the first son takes your grandfather's name, first name and middle name. His son takes his middle name as his first name, and his first name as his middle name, and so forth and so on. I'm named after my grandfather, and my father had his name switched. He was Emmanuel Constantine.
Oh, all right. Gotcha. That's funny. My son is Sloan, and then we took my father-in-law's first name and Stanley, which was my grandfather's name, my uncle's name, and my wife's grandfather's name. And so he's Sloan Hans Stanley Logan. So he's got two middle names.
That's a lot of Sloans, man.
That's right. Yeah. So Sloan and Sonia. Sonia just turned 7.
I've seen her.
Oh yeah, she's a butterfly.
Cute as a bug. I'm sorry that I haven't been lately. It's just been, it's funny. This is not a dead time.
No,
we keep thinking, we can't do anything. Of course, I'm sure there are folks that aren't doing anything purposefully,
right.
Keeping from doing too much. That's not me. That's not my wife. And golf, we were laughing about it, but that is an excellent vehicle.
Oh, I'm a golfer. I love golf.
That's great.
Yeah. I was disparaging of it because the game knows I love it. Yeah, I play often, at least a couple times a month.
You get one birdie every 9 months, and all of a sudden you're
keeps you coming back.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
Yeah, you hit one easy draw 6 iron.
That's right, and it didn't hurt, and it didn't hurt.
It felt pure, and you're like, easy game.
But it's really kept me busy. I mean, because it takes most of the day, and I do it twice a week.
Where do you play?
I play with an organization called the Gold Coast Golf Association. Mm-hmm. This is a plug.
Please plug away.
We are a kind of an independent, not a particular course related association or group or club, and the guy that runs it has connections to all of the local courses. So we play a tournament every month on Thursday. The games are on Thursday. We play a practice round the Thursday before for that tournament, which is at a different place every month. And then the other 2 weeks of the month, we play one at Olivas and one at Buena.
Oh, nice. Okay. I love Olivas.
We're playing different golf courses all the time. And then the ones that we're playing regularly, like you say, they're great courses.
Oh, yeah. I'm in love with River Ridge right now. I love that vineyard course. Is really
playing there.
I love that place.
Yeah, it's great. In the lakes.
That tower shot off of the 4th.
Oh yeah,
that's a great shot. That hole gets me every time. It always either I'm feeling great and I'm trying to put it out over the right side of the sand, or I'm pulling out like a 5 iron and trying to put into the elbow, and something goes wrong every time, and I end up scrambling for a bogey. I'm like a bogey golfer. If you play that often, you probably have a much lower handicap.
No, I'm a little worse than a bogey. I want to be. When I grow up, I want to be a bogey golfer. So I don't know how much we talked about my health, because I hate talking about health. I'm sure you hate listening to people talk about.
No, I chose a profession where that's all I do. Good point. Yeah, right?
But I have a pretty serious lung disease. I have idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, which is scarring of the lungs. Mm-hmm. And it's not curable, and it's supposedly degradable, it degrades. But I try as much as I can to walk every course that I play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now some courses, forget it. My lungs, I can't do it. But so I've been walking, especially with COVID, they didn't want to give you cards, or you had to have your own card.
Right.
So I would be pushing this card in, and it was horrible. What are you doing to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So I bought an electric push card.
Oh.
With the
My neighbor across the street has one of those too.
With a remote control. Okay, fine. It was an extravagant, consumer-based, purchase.
You love it.
I love it.
You love it, yeah.
And talk about changing the ability to be able to walk golf courses,
right.
In my condition. It's night and day.
Geez, that must be a joy. You just walk.
You're just walking, and you have to teach yourself that.
Yeah.
You don't follow your cart. You follow your shot.
Right.
And then bring your cart to your shot.
Now, are you controlling the cart the whole time, or is one of those ones that's kind of paired to a device and it follows you?
No, I don't have. Okay, there may be those. I haven't seen them, but
so you control it.
You control it.
All right. So it's about 10 feet in front of you. And
it's
like a remote control car.
Smart if you think about it.
Yeah.
To do that. That's great. I don't want it to be just running off.
That's true. Yeah, it won't know if you're about to go over a gully or a bridge or something. Yeah.
And I think I've heard about people where it's happened to them. But for the longest time, I'd follow this car down under the cart path and then around over here. I'm driving it. You don't have to be there to drive it. It's 100 and 150 feet range or something.
Yeah.
You say, okay, I'm walking towards my shot, and I'm just keeping sight of it as it's getting there, and that's working real good. So, anyways,
that's nice.
A little golf aside, but and then we try to get out. We do driving trips. We love traveling. We love nature, seeing places.
Are you more of a seeing a tourist spot kind of person, or getting out away from it kind of guy?
I'm more of a getting out away from it guy, but it drives my family nuts because my family thinks that when you go somewhere, you have to immerse yourself. You don't go drive by a beautiful building unless you go inside and touch the structure of the paint, and then look at the paintings and read the history, and spend 18 hours there. We'll drive up to get outside and look at it and go, very cool, take a picture and drive off and keep on going to the next spot, So it's
efficient.
It's efficient. It's very good, yeah.
I'm somewhere in between. I'm definitely a get away from it guy. But when I travel, I try to end up in places that aren't near tourism. And, I want to see spots, but then I'll end up staying near where locals are. I'll try to stay outside of the touristy area.
Do you travel overseas, or have you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in my 20s, I was a touring musician. I toured around Europe, and I've played a concert in all 50 states. I've had very blessed to have the opportunity to travel a lot.
That's exactly.
I lived in Spain, when I was in college. I went and lived for a little bit in Mexico after I graduated college before I moved to LA, just to hang out with the friends, last hurrah before I moved out here. When was it that you moved from the Middle East to here?
1988.
And you moved straight to
Ventura. Yeah.
Wow, what a great choice.
Well, I mean,
that must have been so cool.
Like I said, I didn't know. I had 3 job offers, one in Florida, but it was in the swamp middle area of Florida, one in Houston and one here,
Oh,
and I really had no roots here. I had because I'd grown up there and then worked there.
The humidity in both of those places would have been...
I've been to Houston, I know. I knew what that was.
It's like taking a shower all day.
And that's what I grew up with, in Saudi Arabia. But when I did come, it was a learning experience. You're listening to me talk. Yeah. The dude's an American.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He looks American. He has American mannerisms. He talks American. He uses colloquialisms, But I wasn't. I really wasn't.
What was your diction and your accent and stuff like that like?
That's what I'm saying. That was all good.
Okay.
But
okay, because
structurally and work-wise and culturally.